Hello guys, my name is Arthur. Tonight I would like to explain something about a very important person. This, his name was Joseph Robert Lundquist. He was a physician and philosopher that Sigmund Freud make a very good impression. It was a special stage that Mr. Popper Lundquist has described. I would call it as perception stage. Who, as I mentioned before, Sigmund Freud mentioned in as a very important person in his career. So the reason why I'm talking about him is because as later Freud explained about his work about the dreams. For me, it was very interesting to discover the superego as a critic instance that during the night makes the the role plays the role of the supervisor to the ego. The ego, explained Freud, take himself during the night in the so-called state of sleep, while everyone would believe that that's it, what we do. The human beings, as very much of the living beings, they sleep, but that is not all the truth. Much more, it's about that while the ego took himself in the state of sleep, in the passive state. In the case of the dream, that Freud make a comparison with the psychotic in the daytime, the psychotic state, the superego, an instance that mostly in the day we aren't conscious about this instance. In the night, when the dream becomes intensive, very intensive, and unmoral also, meaning the sleep-awake state coexist synchronously, because the superego used to make to awake the ego from the own sleep state. The superego wanted the ego have to distanciate it from this kind of dream. And this was for me very interesting and new to recognize that while we believe we sleep, that is not all of our parts that also sleep. And this is the superego. The same thing we recognize also in the daytime. When we are surprised, this is the second explanation way. When we are awake in the daytime, I would say the superego, you can mostly recognize if you are in the position to be surprised from something that you didn't expect it in that way. And in this surprise, we recognized that something in us we didn't know before that was also aware of this kind of recognition that we are just now making. So this is the second kind of recognizing why we go in the remembering, but also this is more conventional from the culture, making as one of the function, psychic function. I will explain in the next video in comparison the psychiatric functions, ego functions versus psychoanalytics, deeply psychic functions. And in this comparison, the second way to see, to recognize the own unconscious, you may experience sometime that you are in this embarrassing or something unusual as state, that you would see that in the same time you had the possibility in the past to live, to experience in a specific situation something, but this is what you didn't recognize to that time. So you are now embarrassed or surprised, so that this show to the ego, the own ego, there is something in us that also have to that time more recognized than our ego. So this was what I called a very good example to show the possibility between the ego and the superego to differentiate it. We will see us together in the next video. As I mentioned, I would explain something about the psychic function and as the psychiatry see versus as the psychoanalysis sees the definition more and or less. So thank you for viewing this video. If you want and like, you may also subscribe and even also to put the like button, and we see you next time. Bye bye.